Hello everybody and good morning. Happy Sunday to you. I hope you're sleeping like a baby, and when you wake up and you're looking for something cool to do, you can check out my John Saul collection video. Yes, that's right. The Sunnyvale Reject is back with another video. My John Saul book collection. And I have damn near everything he ever wrote, except for the ones he wrote under a pen name and one book in the John Saul standalone line. I did a little bit of research on the man and found out a lot. I'm going to be reading from my computer because I couldn't commit it all to memory. So John was born in 1942. That makes him 82 years old in Southern California, and he grew up in Whittier. He was in the 7th grade when his English teacher told him he should consider writing as a profession. How cool is that? That teachers have the ability to change somebody's future like that. That's amazing. He attended 4 colleges and he studied anthropology and theater, which is very cool. He wrote plays, short stories, poetry, and eventually novels. He never did graduate from college, though. And though he enjoyed writing humor, his first novel was purchased by Dell Publishing to compete with the rapidly expanding thriller market of the 70s. Interesting story about that, and I'll tell you later when we get to that book. Now he's the author of 37 New York Times best-selling thrillers. But when he sold his first book, he only made $200. But now that man is living the good life, and he splits his time between Seattle and Maui, I believe. In 1976, Suffer the Children was published by Dell. It was the first original paperback, as opposed to a paperback edition of a hardcover book, to go on to the New York Times bestseller list, as well as many other bestseller lists. It was also the first paperback original to have television advertising. All of his books ranked high on the bestseller lists. He was also the first author to write his book on a computer. How cool is that? Did you ever hear that? I never did. He used what's called Lanier, no problem word processor, on which he used a floppy disk, and he could hold a single chapter on every disk. That's crazy. One of his books was also the first book to receive a barcode, and another was the first book that Sony used on their original and unsuccessful ebook reader. He also wrote books under pen names like The Lust Killer by J.S. McWinter, get it, J.S., and A Fairy Tale as J.S. Steinberg. But enough about the man, let's dig into the books. Let's go, let me make space, I'm ready. Okay, I got limited space here, so let's go. We're going to start from the last book, and this man wrote from, before 1977 when he got published for the first time, but until 2009 when he officially retired. I don't understand that, retiring from being a writer. I'm sure he still writes, but maybe not in this capacity. So let's get to it from the standalone line of John Saul books, starting with the last one to the very first, baby. House of Reckoning. House of Reckoning. I have a paperback edition of this book too. I can't wait to read it. That's House of Reckoning. Faces of Fear. Faces of Fear. Interesting concept. It's about a plastic surgeon, I think, that pretty much makes his stepdaughter out to look like his ex-wife. Creepy stuff. That's Faces of Fear. The Devil's Labyrinth. The Devil's Labyrinth. Oh boy, what do we got there? The Devil's Labyrinth. In the 4th century, this symbol appeared in the catacombs of Rome. In the 16th century, it was inscribed on a scroll in Spain. Today, it's about to be discovered beneath a historic building in Boston. I went to school in Boston. In the dark of the night. Look at that. In the dark of the night. Nice hardback. In the dark of the night. Perfect Nightmare. I got this one yesterday. Perfect Nightmare. Look at this guy. Come on, give it up. That collar is rocking, baby. Perfect Nightmare. Midnight Voices. Midnight Voices. I'm guessing the title does a lot of work. Midnight Voices. Not 3 a.m., not 9 p.m. Midnight Voices. Everybody knows this book. This is The Manhattan Hunt Club. Very cool cover, too. Yeah. The Manhattan Hunt Club. This really happens, y'all. It happens for sure in Bogota, Colombia. Read up on the book, you'll see what I'm talking about. Black Creek Crossing. Look at that. Cover could have been better. Oh boy. You liked that picture. Black Creek Crossing. Now what else? Let's see. Oh, here we go. Nightshade. That's pretty cool. Nightshade. Speaking of shading, the shading's cool. Got that Jacobus look to it with the color scheme. Yeah, Nightshade. Alright. Oh, beautiful copy of The Right Hand of Evil. The Right Hand of Evil, another great copy. Solid, crisp book. Our man. A beautiful copy of The Presence. This is the first edition, first printing. And the cover looks a lot better in person than it does online when you look at pictures of it. The Presence. Black Lightning. Black Lightning looks like I don't know, no call number, but it looks like an old library book. One of my least favorite other covers, though. But the font on the inside, the design, and the interior looks pretty good. So does that sweater, boy. Another very nice copy. First edition. The Homing. What is a homing? You tell me. What does it say? Now in his most terrifying novel yet, the author of the New York Times bestsellers, Creature, and Second Child weaves a spellbinding story of small California community under siege from an unspeakable evil. The Homing. The Homing. Oh, I also have this. The Blackstone Chronicles. That was written in 1997, in between The Presence and Black Lightning. The Blackstone Chronicles. That's 6 books, and they're relatively short. 80, 90 pages, something like that. The Guardian. The Guardian. I bought this off of Amazon. I think I paid like $12 for it. And then I went to that Salvation Army that I'm always telling y'all about, and I found it for 99 damn cents. 99 cents. Should have bought it, but I didn't. Look at this one. Shadows. Shadows. This is a cool cover. This is a cool cover. After reading Creature and kind of holding it in my hands and looking it over and spending some time with it, and it was a really nice readable font. Very reader friendly. I went after these copies here because I knew what to expect, and they're all very nice. They feel good in the hands. The covers are kind of cool, you know, and the font's very, very readable. It's easy on the eye. Okay. Here's one people talk a lot about. Darkness. I think it takes place in South Florida. The Darkness. Cool ass leather jacket. City in the background. Let's see The Darkness. The Andersons left the town at the edge of the swamp long ago, never meaning to return. There was something not quite right about the vast, cruel lowlands of Villajuin. Something murky, menacing, hostile, and influence too malevolent to be natural. Read it and find out what happens. I'm sure it's a damn good book, even though it might be a slow burn. Be patient. Separate yourself from the maddening crowd in the world outside for just a little bit. Reading is the one thing where you really have to shut it all off, because you can't read and think about other stuff. Come out. And your peace of mind matters more than anything else. Sleepwalk. Look at that. Come on, give it up. Sleepwalk. This is the only one so far without a picture on the cover, right? There has to be a reason for that. This is Sleepwalk. Summoned back to her small desert hometown, Judith Sheffield is relieved to find Borrego unchanged, at least on the surface. Even Frank Arnold, widowed union head at the oil refinery whose son used to babysit for her when she was a teenager. Okay. Not much accomplished there. Second child, John Saul. I like this cover. I really do. Yeah. The second child. All of these are pretty nice books too. I've been very fortunate. I go to Jensen Books at Amazon, half-price books. I don't shop at thrift as much anymore because I've just got some really poor copies from them lately. And so, the Salvation Army, I will shop at Amazon if I can't find it anywhere else. What is it, Pango or Pongo Books? Y'all tell me. I can't remember, but look that place up. I ordered 2 books from there. They both came in quickly and in great condition, very cheaply, and they're all independent sellers, Creature, John Saul. Creature. You've seen that a few times, I'm sure. Oh man, come on, I love this cover. The Unloved. The Unloved. We all want to be loved. No picture on the back. Let this do all the work in the text itself, right? But have you ever felt unloved? It doesn't feel good. And damn it, unwanted, unloved, and unwanted. Back to back, baby. But another pretty cool cover. I had to take that because it was torn a little bit. So that's the Unwanted. Got a paperback of Hellfire. Again, this old vintage paperback artwork is just, I don't know, man. It's really simple, but it's still pretty cool. I like it. I like this being embossed and the color schemes. It interests me just enough to check it out. Pity the dead. For 100 years the old mill has stood silent, its dread secrets locked away and barred from view. Still the people of Westover, Massachusetts remember a whisper of that fatal day when horrifying flames claimed 11 innocent lives. The day the mill's iron doors slammed shut forever. Oh, check this out, y'all. Brainchild. What a phenomenal cover. Wow, look at that. And guess what? It's signed by the author. Yes, indeed it is. Take a gander at this, y'all. Signed by the man himself. Yes, indeed. Brainchild. Can't remember where I got it, but whoever sold it to me, thank you so much. I'll take good care of it. Nathaniel. Come on, man. It just screams spooky, spooky. Horror, terror, loneliness, alienation, demons. And so much left to the imagination, too. Sometimes I don't like seeing the picture of the author on the back in neither one of my books. Blame Forest or my new book, Laughing is Forever, which is going to come out probably in the next couple of months. I don't have a picture of myself on there because I don't want people to, to look at me and think things, I think we all feel that way. You want the work to do all the talking. God Project. I've heard, from people that don't even like John Saul that this is a kick-ass book, so it must be because the cover rocks. Look at that. As a young man, look at that guy. He knows the future is bright. When the wind blows. You know what happens to the cradle when the wind blows? Let's see. To the Indians, the ancient mine was a sacred place, the dark sanctuary where the souls of little children slept. To the residents of Amberton, Colorado, it was their source of livelihood, the reason for the founding of the town in this remote, inaccessible mountain place. Until, at the beginning of the century, tragedy struck. What kind of tragedy? You'll have to get the book and read it, find out. Creature also took place in Colorado, and I'm willing to bet that a lot of the other books did too. comes the blind fury. Yes, white eyes, they're not supposed to be white. That's scary. That probably indicates possession. But we don't know because we haven't read this one yet. I've only read one, but I'm going to damn well read every book I have by him. Amanda, a century ago, a gentle blind girl walked the cliffs of Paradise Point when the children came, taunting, teasing, until she lost her footing and fell, shrieking her rage to the drowning sea. The curse lives on. I have a paperback of this. John Saul's Cry for the Strangers. This was the first John Saul book I ever bought, and I probably paid $0.25 for it at that same Salvation Army on the racks. It might be worth it for y'all if you're anywhere near West Palm Beach to take a trip to this Salvation Army. You might want to wait a while though, because I've been going like once a week and I've got so much good stuff from there. So let them stock back up. This is Cry for the Strangers. Could such a lovely little town hold something so evil? The town that's perfect on the outside or on the surface seems to be a theme as well in Saul's work. Cry for the Strangers. And here it is. We've made it to book 1. It's called Suffer the Children. It was his first book, signed by Dell. And from what I understand, he met with his editor, and his editor gave him a copy of Stephen King's Salem's Lot and said, read this. We want to compete. Can you do something like this? And he said, well, hell yeah, of course I can. I'm John Saul. And so he and his partner, came up with an outline. They wrote the book. I think it was an immediate bestseller. I think it sold 3 million copies fairly quickly. And the rest is history. And we have John Saul now with about 60 million books in print. Now that's still far behind folks like, Robin Cook, Dean Koontz, Stephen King, who have 400 million copies in print. My God. They're getting paid, aren't they? But Stephen King once referenced something somebody wrote about him, and critics tend to think that most readers are dumb, right? Which I can't understand because a lot of them don't write themselves. But anyway, critics will say that if a lot of people who are dumb read your books, then they can't be good. Now, of course, I don't believe that, but that probably does have something to do with why John Saul only has, about 60 million in sales, which is quite a lot. I mean, it's a country, but it's because his writing is a little bit deeper. You have to pay a lot more attention. You have to be invested, and he gives you reason and cause to be invested in the characters, in the setting, in the plot, in the conclusion, the resolution, all that stuff. So, I'm a big fan of John Saul. Maybe I'll come across some of his books written by pen names. I think one was called The Lust King and the Fairy Tale. I think I may have mentioned that earlier. But if not, I'm definitely going to read all of the books in his standalone line, and we'll see. We'll see how things turn out. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate you guys checking out my videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see each other soon.